Hi everybody, I wanted to introduce you today to the Director of Operations for the Carolyn Costin Institute. This is Jeanette. She's going to tell you a little bit about herself, and I'm going to ask her some questions on your behalf because there are a lot of things that you guys want to know about taking the course and what happens after the course and the admissions process, and she's the one with the answers for that. So today I really wanted her to talk about sort of the frequently asked questions, but also go into a little more detail. So could you explain to them about our bachelor's degree policy?
Sure. So a lot of people ask, do I need a bachelor's degree to apply for the program or to be enrolled in the program? We do require that students have a bachelor's degree. However, there is a process where we waive it, and we do frequently do that for students who apply. There's a waiver on the application that you can fill out, and basically we want people to tell us if they don't have a bachelor's degree, why they want to be in the program, their goals for becoming a coach, their background, any experience that they have that might be relevant. And we look at all of that, and we do frequently decide to waive the bachelor's degree requirement for applicants.
Another thing is about, I know you get the question a lot because she's the first line for questions. So the question a lot, even though we've put it on there, about do you have to be recovered? So what do you generally tell people about that?
You do have to be recovered to be a coach if you have an eating disorder history. We do require that people who apply have been recovered for at least 2 years, and we have Carolyn's definition of recovered. People who have an eating disorder history have to agree on the application that they've met that requirement for 2 years or more. But if you don't have an eating, you don't have to be recovered to be in the program. If you have never had an eating disorder history, we still welcome students of all different backgrounds. We have students in the program right now who don't have an eating disorder history. So really, if you've had an eating disorder history, you do have to be recovered, but absolutely not. You don't have to be recovered to apply.
And we also have people, you know, various ages and backgrounds. Therapists take the course. We have a chef taking the course. I think a fitness trainer, mental health tech. We have a lot of different people taking the course. One of the things I think you get questioned about is people want to know, what am I going to do with this afterwards? In all kinds of ways, they ask that question.
Yeah, they do. And really, it's up to you. I mean, if some people want to go work for an existing coaching business. Other people want to start their own coaching business. It's really up to each person what they want to do. Some people are already clinicians and they want to offer coaching as an alternative that they provide. It's really up to each person what they want to do. But there's all different avenues that you can go. And we actually have, we can help connect you with existing coaching businesses. We have a lot of different opportunities for coaches.
What about the licensing and the requirements in different states?
Currently, there aren't any laws that we know of that govern coaches or life coaching, but we do encourage each applicant to check with the rules in their state if there might be any. But as far as we know right now, there aren't any rules surrounding life coaching. But that's kind of why we're trying to set a program that kind of becomes the gold standard, because we know that anybody can go out there and call themselves a coach. So we want people to know that when someone says they've been certified by the Carolyn Costin Institute, that person got a really good education, they had supervision, they really know the material, and they're ready to go out there and work with clients. And we don't certify people until they are.
And Jeanette's the one who actually did the research on the different coaching institutes. There's life coaching, business coaching, sober coaching, and looked at what do those programs offer, and came up with a program that would offer far exceed that, so that we could be the gold standard. Yeah. So that's why we do have supervision. Of course, I want to do supervision anyway, but and that's how we came to set our prices, and that's how we came to set it up to be exactly as specific and detailed as it is.
That's another question we get asked a lot. Is the cost of supervision included? Because some of the life coaching programs, you pay the tuition and then you have to pay above and beyond for supervision, which can depend on the price of the supervisor. Each person charges a different rate per hour. It's all included in our program. So when you pay the tuition, it's all included. The tuition, the supervision, all of it.
What about when people become a coach, they say, oh, is insurance going to recognize it? Is New York State going to recognize it? How do you answer those questions?
As far as insurance, as far as we know right now, I know people are working on it. It is something that's in process right now, but insurance doesn't cover coaches right now. Hopefully in the future, they will start to do that.
Because we're going to change the future.
But and then as far as each state, it's just, again, back to the life coaching, what does that state, how do they handle life coaches? So whether they recognize it or not, we're not sure yet. I mean, we're fighting really hard.
But you see the requests that we get versus the coaches. So there is a demand for it, I would say.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. In fact, right now, the demand for coaches exceeds the number of coaches available.
And everybody who has asked for a coach has been willing to pay for the coach.
Yeah.
So how would you describe that fine line between, because we have therapists and people who wonder, well, what's the difference between a therapist and a coach?
I mean, really what it comes down to is coaches focus on the here and now. So they're not going to go into why someone got sick or anything in their past or their background or anything like that. They're just focusing on, how do we get through this meal? What can we do to help you today? How can we get you through something challenging that you have coming up? And what feelings do you have surrounding that? They're not going into any of the psychological background. Yeah. They're really just, they're a support person, but they're a very well-trained support person.
What about people who say, are you going to help me set up my business? And I know that package, that module you put together with some of the information for me, but you put together something to help them with ideas for starting a business. Yeah.
We do have, guidelines, tips, advice, things that we think are good ideas for setting up a business. We don't actually help someone build their business, but we do basically everything that we can short of that. We have a module on managing your clients and managing your business. There's a lot of sample forms in there to help people get started. There's
what kind of forms are in there? I'm trying to remember.
Like a release form for when you're doing a session with a client, if you're going to be recording it. We have forms to speak to the client's treatment team. We have basically just forms that will help someone that people need when they're starting a business and they don't know, and we do always recommend that, because each state's requirements are different, each country, that you check with a lawyer and make sure that what's in the form is relevant to where you live. But we do have forms that pretty much cover,
we provided templates, but we wanted to make sure that they check with if there's any local regulations. But I think we did pretty good in terms of all the things that we covered. The thing that I always want to remind people is we're a school, we're an institute, we train people just like if we were training therapists. So although we have some information that would help you set up your business, and Jeanette's very good about responding to everybody who needs help, we also certainly, it's going to be incumbent upon you to go out and get your business started. But you also mentioned the coaching agencies, and we do have coaching agencies right now, 3 ones that we know pretty well that are all ready to hire anyone who goes through our training and that is a certified CCI coach. They want to hire those people because they are already running businesses and they don't have enough coaches.
And we also have a lot of people coming to you looking for coaches for their clients because they know that if someone's been through your program that they were trained well.
So what other questions come up that, how long it takes to do the course?
That really depends. So the course material itself, we say that it takes about 12 weeks, and that's if you're putting in 8 to 10 hours a week, but we give people a year from the time that they sign up to complete the course material. So it can take you 4 months, it can take you 6 months, 8 months, whatever. A lot of people are juggling work schedules, kids, families, all different kinds of things. So we don't really have a requirement except that we ask that people finish it within a year. And we even have told people that, there's times where we'll make it, if someone has a life situation that comes up, we'll make exceptions. But
because we're very nice.
We're very nice. But pretty much 4 months to get through the material. And then you begin the supervision process, which again is variable depending on your availability or their supervisor's availability and the student's ability to, book clients and get those sessions recorded, which we also will help people with if they're having trouble.
Yeah, we've been able to set up people in the internship phase of the program with clients who want to have coaches. So that's worked out pretty good.
Really.
And then I do not know any of this, but there's a way that technology, video, signal, that Jeanette will help you, send you the stuff to get started when you're in that phase where you're seeing clients, because you have to tape some of your sessions and send them for supervision. If you have a lot of technical problems about how to use your own computer, or your own apps or things like that. She might help a little, but you might have to get some other technological assistance if you don't know how to use your own devices, because she's too busy doing other things.
But for things on the platform, any technical issues that you have with the learning platform, watching videos, reading material, I help with. I'm there for people from the time that they're interested in the program through the time that they graduate. So people always know they can always ask me questions.
So the other thing Jeanette does is she helps me go through all of the video material that you guys are going to watch and the reading material, and helps me come up with the quizzes that you're going to take. And she's also a coach. So she is the first graduate of the Carolyn Costin Institute. So she actually can answer most of your questions, but she runs a lot of the content questions by me. Can you explain a little bit about how that works?
Yeah, so at the end of, not all the modules, but most of the modules, there's a multiple choice quiz, and it's open book. A lot of people say, oh, I'm nervous about the quiz. It's open book. You can go through your reading materials. It's not timed. We do have where people can only take the quiz a certain amount of times, because we want to make sure that people know the material. Whether you need to look in the book and see it there and then it's reinforced in your brain, but we just want to make sure that people know the material and aren't going through the quizzes, guessing all A and then all B, and just keep continuing to guess until they get them right. So there are multiple choice quizzes. I would say they're moderately difficult. They're not too difficult, but they're moderately difficult.
They're hard enough so that I know that you know the information.
They're enough to make Carolyn comfortable that you've learned the material. And then at the end of the course, we have a content exam, which is a little bit longer. That one is timed. It just goes back through all the material and all the modules. You can look at your notes. You can look at the videos. You can look at whatever you need to, just so that we know that people, once they've finished all the modules, they remember what they learned in module 1 when they're entering module 11.
The thing I would say about the quizzes and the final exam and the supervision and all that is that I really felt strongly, well, we both did, that if someone's going to have a Carolyn Costin Institute certification, that we need to know that you're going out there and you are qualified, you have the skills, you have the confidence to be an eating disorder coach. There are a lot of people wondering, questioning about the role of eating disorder coaches. So it's really incumbent upon us, since we're the first in this arena, to make sure that we do a stellar job of preparing our coaches for the material. So, for example, I don't pass everybody on all the quizzes.
Oh, the open-ended questions.
I know, I was thinking about that. But so after the multiple choice quizzes, then it gets sent to me to do open-ended questions, and I look at all the answers, and I don't pass everybody on those right away. And at first, I think that was kind of hard for people, but what is happening is it's an interactive thing. You might answer a question, I might say, I think you need to do a little more of this, or I think it would help the client if you do this. So it's actually a interactive training process.
Part. And those questions, they're again, not at the end of every single module, but most modules we do have them. And it's 2 to 6 questions. And a lot of people ask, well, how long am I going to have to spend writing these? Are they big essays? Really, they can be as long or as short as they need to be to get the answer. We've had people submit 20-page responses. We've had people submit 1-page responses, and both have been passed because they met the criteria that Carolyn needed to see. But really, she just needs to make sure that she's confident, even just passing each person module to module. Yeah. We really want to make sure that, and that, I think that's something that people have been surprised by, because a lot of online courses, you just sign up, you go through, you watch your
multiple
videos.
Choice.
Yeah, you get through it. And these are really, sometimes, people on the first quiz, they don't get passed, and then they email me and they feel upset that they didn't pass, like they did something wrong. But Carolyn frequently will tell people they need to submit a little bit more, and everyone's so grateful for it.
In the end, I think they thank me.
They're very grateful for it.
So when people are in that process where they have to sign documents or submit the application and things like that, are there, we have a new system now.
We do.
Makes it easier, but I don't know if that's something you need to explain or if it's...
It's pretty straightforward, but basically after you've submitted your application, and we reviewed it and we feel like you're a good fit for the program, I'll send you something to sign. We have a student agreement. And some people wonder, why do we have a student agreement? I think most schools do have that, but because all of our content is online, and it's a lot of Carolyn's material that no one's seen before, material that she's written specifically for the program. So we want to make sure that every student is being careful with how they distribute that material. In fact, we want to make sure that they don't redistribute that material. After the agreement's signed, I get you set up on the learning platform, and it's very straightforward. You get an email with the link to it, your username, your password, and then you're in. Simple.
Is there anything you can think of that people have? I know. One other one is they say, well, how much money can I make?
Yeah.
And I know that's all over the map, but
yeah.
what are how you answer that?
It really, it's tough because there's some coaches that, are charging $75 an hour. Some coaches are charging $150. This is US dollars because we get asked this question from all over the world. But
which, by the way, we have coaches in Australia and Milan.
Yeah. But it really depends on, it's like if you go through cosmetology school or a personal training certificate program, and you say, how much will I make? It's really up to you. The demand for you as a coach is going to dictate a lot of that. The demand in your area, where you live. Obviously, someone in Los Angeles is probably going to be able to charge a higher per hour rate than someone maybe in Idaho.
Yeah,
It's
true. It's true. It's so hard to answer that, but I give the same range that you do, 75 to 150, and I'm generally telling coaches to start low with their fees and get used to it and also be competitive in a sense, because someone is probably having to also pay a therapist and maybe pay a dietitian. And so I think it's good not to price yourself out of the range. But then there's times when we have coaches who are, being requested to go spend a week while someone transitions from their treatment program back home, or go have breakfast every morning at school with this client who just got out of treatment. So there are all kinds of requests, and you might have to throw in the driving time and things like that. But so far, I haven't had anybody be upset about the prices that coaches are talking about charging, and
coaches are happy with the income that they're bringing in as coaches.
Yeah.
And that's another thing too. Some people want to know, well, how much should I charge as a coach, on the back end? And again, what I recommend to people is do some research. If there are coaches in your area, do some research on what they're charging. Again,
and I think the certification will help.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I think it's really, we do explain, right, about how to interact with the treatment team. I don't know where that is in the module.
It's in the managing your business module. It's in the handbook, it's in the managing your business module. And that's where we have the forms to get the releases from the client's treatment team, which we always recommend doing. We always want coaches to be, as often as they can, part of a team.
Every once in a while, though, like I have a mother right now who has a young daughter. They're trying to get her a therapist. They can't find a therapist in their area. I've agreed to let them start working with a coach. Every once in a while, there's some issues where it might be appropriate for a coach, but you can always ask that question. That can be part of your supervision kind of questions if that comes up, or you have. And we'll also provide ongoing supervision later. If anyone is certified by CCI and later you feel like you're in a bind or something, I supervise coaches. I have coaches that didn't go through my program that are already out there in the industry who have asked me to help supervise them. So you can do that. It's a separate fee, but you can do that. And then what about the recertificate or to keep certified?
Oh yeah, we do have continuing education. All the requirements for the continuing education are in your application materials when you sign up.
How often would it do that? Is it
every 2 years?
Every 2 years.
Yeah.
And tell them about what you're doing on to let people know, how you're posting on the website so people can find the coaches.
Oh yeah,
on the CC, wherever.
Yeah, it's on your website. Yeah, we have a directory on the website of coaches and interns, and when people apply for the program, we ask them to submit, because some people have, they apply with their personal phone number, email address. So when you apply, it's not like we just publish your information. We ask everybody what you'd be comfortable with in the directory, and they can list their work phone number, their work email address. But we do have that directory because we're getting asked all the time, where are your graduates? How can I contact them? And so on the website, it'll show the person's name, an email address for them, and then their status, whether they're an intern or a coach.
Any specific problems you can think of that people have had that you've had to be there and help them with that you could cover? I'm trying to think.
I know the learning platform, I love it. It's really straightforward.
It's pretty easy.
It's really self-explanatory. And at the beginning of every module, there's instructions, and they have pictures in them, and they sort of show you how to do everything. But whenever anyone has questions, I'm always there. I can always help people do it. But I think the learning platform is very straightforward, especially as far as online courses go.
So let me just say something about the supervision, which is right now I'm the only one doing the supervision, but that's going to change. I'm hiring people to help do supervision. And in that supervision process, you see a client and you have to tape it from somewhere between 2 to 5 sessions. And then you have to send them on our secure platform, which she will tell you all about when you get there. I think that is a huge part, a huge piece of the program.
Yeah.
And I think then you will really get that, you'll get that confidence that it takes to go out there and meet with your clients and start your business.
And we understand, I mean, a lot of people are wondering, how am I going to get clients if I'm brand new to this? I'm just signing up for the course. And we really do help connect people. And a lot of people who are asking that want, sessions with an intern, because we don't have people charged that's an important thing.
Oh, right.
We don't have our interns charged. So a lot of people are so happy to get 2 to 5 free sessions with one of our coaching students. So even a lot of clients, potential clients, can find you on the website once you reach the intern part of the course, and we help connect people. If someone says, hey, I live in Florida and I'm having trouble getting people to see for my internship, we'll reach out, we'll find people. I mean,
and usually I don't really like online.
Mm-hmm.
I really think coaches should be live, meet with the person experience. However, we've hooked some people up. I have a coach in one state right now helping a client who's in another state, and she got out of a treatment program, couldn't go to a follow-up day treatment. She got out of residential, couldn't go to day treatment, had to go back to work. But this coach is helping her. She can text the coach during the day. If she feels like she doesn't want to eat or snack, the coach gets online with her and they have their snack together. So there are some online opportunities as well. Even though I think it's good to meet with a person live, I'm realizing the place that coaching has for online as well. And we also suggest you let therapists know. There's a lot of therapists in this community that coaches we know go to the therapist and they tell the therapist, here's what I'm doing. I'll help you with your clients. If you have any clients who are really having difficulty, you'd like to prevent them from going into day treatment or having to go into residential, I'd be happy to work with you to help your client achieve her goals.
And a lot of therapists are so happy because a lot of times, the therapist says, go out and do this challenge this week, and then the client comes back and they weren't able to do it. So when the therapist and the coach can work together, they can work on the goal together. The therapist, gives the client the goal. Then the client goes with the coach and they know that there's going to be accountability. They know that the coach is going to be encouraging the client, and it helps the clients meet the therapist goals.
Same thing with the dietitian,
Same thing.
Coaches working with dietitians. They don't set up meal plans. They don't set up therapy goals, but they follow through with the goals of the treatment team, And sometimes they'll come up with their own goals, like just, call me at 9 when you're going to have your snack, that kind of thing.
Yeah. But they would complement the goals that the therapist or dietitian is working on with them.
And they're pretty prepared for that through going through the course.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Well, I think pretty much we covered most of the frequently asked questions anyway.
Yeah. And if there's anything that we didn't answer, you can always email us or check the document on the website. There's a frequently asked questions document on there that it's like 4 pages that has a lot of different things. You can refer back to it if you want to, but you can always email me, or a lot of people choose to email Carolyn. If you know Carolyn, either one of us can answer any of the frequently asked questions.
And if we get a lot more different ones, we'll just make another video.
Make another video.
Bye for now.
Bye.